This is it, the single greatest mystery in all of history. An object of immense power, said to be a direct link to God himself, it vanished without a trace over 2,500 years ago. What if I told you that after centuries of searching, we might finally know where it is? For over 3 millennia, the Ark of the Covenant has captivated the minds of theologians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters alike. It's more than just a historical artifact. It's a legend woven into the very fabric of faith and history. Described in the book of Exodus as a chest made of acacia wood, overlaid with the purest gold, it was built under the direct instruction of God to Moses on Mount Sinai. Its lid, the mercy seat, was flanked by 2 golden cherubim, their wings outstretched, creating a sacred space from which God would communicate with his people. Inside this magnificent chest were the tablets of the 10 Commandments, the very laws etched by the finger of God. It was a physical manifestation of God's covenant with the Israelites, a symbol of his presence and his power. The stories surrounding it are nothing short of miraculous. The ark parted the waters of the Jordan River, allowing the Israelites to cross into the promised land. It brought down the impenetrable walls of Jericho with nothing more than the sound of trumpets and shouts. Its presence on the battlefield guaranteed victory, but it also brought disaster to those who disrespected it. When captured by the Philistines, it unleashed plagues and destruction until they were forced to return it in terror. For centuries, the ark resided in the Holy of Holies, the innermost sanctuary of Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. Only the high priest was permitted to enter this sacred space, and only once a year on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, to sprinkle the blood of sacrifice and seek forgiveness for the nation's sins. It was the absolute center of Israelite worship, a tangible connection to the divine. And then, in 587 BC, it was gone. The Babylonian army, led by the ruthless king Nebuchadnezzar II, descended upon Jerusalem. They laid siege to the city, breaching its walls and methodically destroying everything in their path. The magnificent Temple of Solomon, the heart of the kingdom, was plundered and burned to the ground. The biblical texts meticulously list the treasures the Babylonians looted and carried away: the gold, the silver, the precious vessels. But one item is conspicuously absent from that list: the Ark of the Covenant. It simply vanishes from the historical record, sparking a mystery that has endured for 2,600 years. What happened to the most sacred object in the world? How could something so important just disappear? The theories are as numerous and as fascinating as the Ark itself. The most straightforward explanation is that it was destroyed along with the temple. In the chaos and brutality of the Babylonian conquest, it's plausible that this golden chest was simply melted down for its precious metal, its sacred contents lost or discarded, its divine significance meaningless to the conquering army. It's a grim and unsatisfying end, but a logical possibility. Another popular theory, and one with deep roots in Jewish tradition, suggests a far more deliberate act. Foreseeing the impending destruction, the priests of the temple took matters into their own hands. According to some ancient texts, the prophet Jeremiah, acting on divine instruction, hid the ark in a cave on Mount Nebo, the same mountain from which Moses viewed the promised land before he died. The Talmud offers a different, but related idea: that King Josiah, a righteous king who reigned before the invasion, learned of the coming doom and commanded the Levites to hide the ark in a secret chamber built deep beneath the Temple Mount itself. This hidden chamber, designed by King Solomon for this very purpose, would keep the ark safe until a time when the temple could be rebuilt. For centuries, this has fueled speculation and a desire to excavate beneath one of the most contentious religious sites on earth, the Temple Mount, known to Muslims as the Haram al-Sharif. These aren't the only possibilities. The trail of the ark has been traced all over the world. One legend follows the Knights Templar, the medieval order of warrior monks. Some believe they discovered the ark, or something of immense value, during their excavations under the Temple Mount in the 12th century. This alleged discovery, the theory goes, is the source of their immense wealth and power, a secret they protected until their violent suppression in 1307. Did they smuggle the Ark back to Europe? Is it hidden in Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland, with its intricate and mysterious carvings? Or perhaps it was taken to Rennes-le-Château in France, the center of countless conspiracy theories. The search has even extended to Africa. The Lemba, a tribe in southern Africa, have a fascinating oral tradition that their ancestors, a priestly class, carried the Ark out of Jerusalem and brought it south, hiding it in a cave in the Domed Mountains. Their claim is bolstered by genetic testing, which has shown a high prevalence of a specific genetic marker common to the Jewish priestly lineage, the Cohen modal haplotype, lending a surprising layer of scientific credibility to their ancient story. But of all the theories, one location stands out, not because of a fleeting legend or a hidden clue, but because of a living, breathing tradition that has persisted for thousands of years. It's a claim so bold, so audacious, that it has been both revered and dismissed for centuries. This claim points us to the heart of Africa, to the highlands of Ethiopia. This is where our investigation takes a dramatic turn. According to the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, the Ark of the Covenant is not lost at all. They believe it is securely housed in the city of Axum, within a small, unassuming chapel next to the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion. This isn't a theory to them. It is a central tenet of their faith and national identity. Their national epic, the Kebra Nagast, the Glory of Kings, tells a vivid story. It recounts the visit of the Queen of Sheba to King Solomon in Jerusalem. The two had a son, Menelik, who would become the first emperor of Ethiopia. As a young man, Menelik traveled to Jerusalem to meet his father. When it was time for him to return home, the story takes a shocking twist. A group of Israelite nobles, including the son of the high priest, secretly switched the real Ark with a replica and smuggled the genuine article out of the temple, accompanying Menelik back to Ethiopia. They believed it was God's will for the Ark, his Zion, to be moved to a new home. The Ark was brought to Ethiopia, where it was kept on an island in Lake Tana for centuries before finally being moved to its current resting place in Axum. There, it is guarded by a single virgin monk, the guardian of the Ark, who is chosen for life and is the only person on earth permitted to see it. He never leaves the chapel grounds, dedicating his entire existence to praying and watching over the sacred relic. When one guardian dies, another is chosen to take his place, a sacred duty passed down in an unbroken chain for hundreds of years. The Ethiopian claim is met with considerable skepticism from the outside world. Historians point to the lack of corroborating evidence outside of Ethiopian tradition. Archaeologists argue that the Kebra Nagast was written centuries after the events it describes, and is more of a foundational myth than a historical document. And of course, the primary obstacle is that no one is allowed to see the Ark. The Church's refusal to allow any form of scientific or historical verification means their extraordinary claim remains just that, a claim. And yet, it is impossible to dismiss it entirely. The conviction of the Ethiopian people is absolute. To them, the Ark is a living reality, the source of their nation's divine favor. Every single one of the thousands of churches in Ethiopia contains a replica of the Ark, known as a tablet, which is consecrated and treated with the same reverence as the original. The annual festival of Timkat sees these tablets paraded through the streets in a joyful celebration, a nationwide echo of the Ark's own biblical journeys. This isn't just a story they tell. It's a faith they live. So where does that leave us? Is the Ark of the Covenant a pile of dust in the sands of the Middle East? Is it locked away in a secret vault beneath Jerusalem, waiting for a prophetic discovery? Is it the forgotten treasure of the Knights Templar, hidden somewhere in Europe? Or is it exactly where millions of people believe it to be, sitting in a quiet chapel in the mountains of Ethiopia, guarded by a solitary monk? Each theory has its champions and its detractors, its plausible threads and its glaring holes. The mystery is a perfect convergence of faith, history, and the human love for a grand, unsolved puzzle. Perhaps the Ark's location was never meant to be known. Perhaps its true power now lies not in its physical presence, but in the enduring mystery. It represents a mystery that continues to inspire awe, devotion, and an unquenchable thirst for the truth. The search for the Ark of the Covenant is, in many ways, a search for our own connection to a past that feels both ancient and immediate, a search for the divine in a world of the ordinary. And until the day it is revealed, if that day ever comes, the search will continue.